So today I'm focusing a little bit on pretty much all accessory muscles and core. Not feeling like lifting any of the major body parts today. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Starting off with cable good mornings. Going fairly heavy today. This is my fourth set. In my first set, my range of motion wasn't this good. As I kept doing more sets and more reps, my mobility kept increasing. And and as it kept increasing, I also kept increasing the weight so that it can pull me further forward. Another thing that I'm doing is at the top here, I'm rotating my wrists. It activates different areas of the shoulders and the lats. And if you have any peculiar tightnesses like I do, you'll notice that at different angles, it might feel a little different. And then by just going through those different angles, you're able to loosen up the tightness a little and then slowly let it pull you further forward. Opening up the entire posterior chain. Getting really strong in this movement will lead to overall really good hamstring and glute mobility, at least on the posterior side. Another thing that I'm doing is trying to keep my head in line with my spine. Going for about 5 to 6 of that. I think I'm just going to do one more. Going into some ATG split squats. So the first movement loosens it from the back, and then this loosens from the forward, but also trains the hip flexors and the abs. I'm going for 5 each side of this. But yeah, that's what my first superset is. I consider this core / extremities because it's training the hip flexors and also the lower back. Those are muscles that we don't usually devote exclusive time to in a regular training split. So yeah, I'm gonna do a couple more sets of this, try to hit it really hard, maybe go a little heavier on the good mornings, and then yeah, let's see what happens next. So for the second set of exercises, I'm doing hip flexors and lower abs to start off. So getting two kettlebells placed on my feet such that they're not gonna fall. Then I'm gonna bring one leg up and then kick straight up. Then second leg. So the curling upwards or flexing upwards is a hip flexion. So you're training the hip flexors when you do that. And when you're kicking up, you're using your lower abs to bring your leg up while your hip flexors are in a relatively stretched position. People like having a well-defined Apollo's belt. It's kind of like that V shape that goes into the lower half of the body, and doing this kind of helps develop that. Moving into some kettlebell leg extensions. So doing this with a kettlebell forces you to keep your hip flexor activated and core contracted, and also gives you a good quad burn. You have to keep your hip flexor flexed during the whole motion to prevent the kettlebell from hitting the floor. Going for about 8 to 10 each side. But yeah, that's what I'm doing next. So for the next exercise, sticking with the kettlebells, trying to make regular body weight ab movements weighted. So everyone probably knows about Flutter kicks, but I'm going to add kettlebells to it and make it a weighted movement. So as in the previous exercise, wrapping the kettlebells around my feet. Alright, and then lean back on the bench and kind of hold the under part of it, and then flutter kick. It's really gonna kill your core. So it's really gonna stretch your hip flexors and get your lower abs activated. Right after that, going into some medicine ball twists. Going for 10 each side. But yeah, It's still recording. That's what I'm doing next. I'm gonna do another 2 or 3 sets of that. And then the UFC fights are on tonight, so I want to get home and be able to watch that. So I might just hop in the sauna, take a kettlebell, do some forearms there, and then yeah, head home. Maybe do some posing. We'll see.